Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy, AdTech, and real-time bidding, RTB. So, AdTech, companies that sell and share ads, have capabilities that I think a lot of people don't fully understand, but also raise privacy concerns. And in terms of regulation around the world, it's all over the board. So let me start by explaining what real-time bidding is in ad tech. So basically, whenever individuals go on the internet, they're sort of leaving crumbs of information about themselves that is being gathered by marketers and often shared by one another. So people end up having profiles created about them based on the types of websites that they go to, the types of searches that they do. There's actually a taxonomy that gets created about individuals. So maybe your location, your interests, like maybe you're a dog lover, you're a vegetarian, you drive a Ford pickup, stuff like that. So there are kind of thousands of combinations of things that are information that's gathered about an individual. So what the ad tech industry does is sort of like an auction, like a data auction. So based on, like, if you go to a website and it shows you an ad, basically what's happening in the background is that advertisers are looking at information that they have about you, maybe information that you gave, maybe information that they infer from maybe your other web searches and other things that you do. And then those advertisers bid in a system, a real-time bidding system, to decide who will show you the ad that shows up on the website that you're looking at. So the company that wins the ad will show you that ad. So this process from start to finish takes about 100 milliseconds. So the ads that you see are based on someone bidding for your eyes, basically, or for your gaze to look at those ads. And then if you, say for instance, it's for a product or service, if you were to purchase something, let's say on the internet or whatever, within 7 days or a certain amount of days that you saw that ad, that advertiser would get credit for converting you to a customer. So that's one reason why when you look at a certain thing on the internet, you go to different, you close one web page, go to another, and you'll see that same item kind of chase you around because they're trying to get credit for the thing that you actually will eventually buy. The ad tech industry is, multi-billion-dollar a year industry, and this happens millions of times a day all over the world. So these user profiles are created about individuals. This data is traded with third parties often. Most people don't have knowledge that this is happening, nor are they kind of consenting to this data being sort of gathered about them. So the Interactive Advertising Bureau has this taxonomy that they created, the advertisers use to describe what they think this customer is, and it's definitely used for advertising. Also, they have something what's called a TC string, which is transparency and consent choices that an individual made, whether you say, oh, don't track me, don't do this, don't do that, or I agree to being tracked in certain ways. So there's a lot of litigation. Actually, there's a big case over in Europe right now about these taxonomies and about this string of information that's about an individual. The Europe says, and other locations will probably follow around the world, thinking that this TC string, which is information about what persons like or dislike or want or don't want in terms of consent, will be considered personal data, which makes the companies that have it data controllers in the EU, which means that they have obligations to individuals for how they handle that data. So it remains to be seen how this is going to play out. I think that this is going to be kind of a blockbuster issue because up to this point, because an individual isn't necessarily a consumer or asking for this data to be collected about them, this is kind of an open Wild West type of issue. But we're seeing regulators start to close in on marketers that do this type of sale. This is also one impetus behind Apple doing the app transparency move, where basically they're saying that they want these third parties to ask your consent to be able to show you ads and actually trade or share this information with third parties. So I think, we're going to hear a lot about real-time bidding in 2022 because this is something that regulators are starting to focus a lot on, especially as it relates to what happens with that data, because not all this data is being used for marketing. Some of it is being used to create risk profiles for individuals, maybe deny people things like insurance or jobs and things like that. So this is interesting. I want to see how much transparency gets brought into this process because it's so automated and it happens so rapidly. It's kind of out of hand at this point. So I'm just really interested to see what regulators have to say about this process and how it impacts privacy of individuals. That's it. Thank you.